Hi, Alexis. My name is Danielle, and I am your counselor for the day. Um, do you like to be called Alexis, or is there something else that you like to be called?
Lexi is best.
Okay, perfect. I will make sure to use Lexi while we're in our session. Before we get started, have you ever heard of a confidentiality before?
I'm not too aware of porn.
Okay. So, quickly, what confidentiality is, it means that what you say in our session today between you and I, it'll stay between us. I will keep what you say private and confidential, but there are also limits to your privacy. Everyone who sees me, I tell them those limits. If you share information that leads me to think that you're suicidal or homicidal, um, unfortunately, I can't keep that information private. Also, if you share any child or elder abuse, I can't keep that private either. It's not that I suspect you of this. I say this to everyone up front. Finally, if you give me written permission to release your records to professional and I am served with a subpoena with the court to release your records, I will cooperate with those requests. Also be aware that this session is being recorded. I will have peers and my professor will be viewing this video, and this is also for role play. Do you have any questions?
No, I think I'm good.
So you understand everything?
I do.
Awesome, fantastic. So let's go ahead and get started, Lexi. So what brings you in today? What would you like to talk about?
Due to my past, I'm kind of struggling with a couple of things when it comes to my boyfriend. A little backstory: my boyfriend and I are long distance, about 10 hours away. We haven't seen each other too much since we've been dating, so long distance is a little harder than, of course, in person.
Of course.
Which, we've been kind of making it work, but, recently there's a few things that are going on at home, and then with my past, I'm just kind of struggling with trying to keep up, showing the emotion and feeling it.
Okay. First off, what is your boyfriend's name?
Matt.
Matt. Okay. And how long have you and Matt been together?
We've been together about a year and a half.
Year and a half. And how did you guys meet?
We have like a lot of mutual friends when I used to live in the state he did, and he asked for my number.
Awesome. So when you say that you're having problems with your emotions and that it is due to your past, can you elaborate as far as what do you mean by you're having problems with your emotions and how is that connected to your past?
When I was 4, my biological dad, there was a lot of stuff going on with his mental health, and for a while I thought that he abandoned me. I didn't understand the whole reason behind it or anything like that until many years later, but at that point I convinced myself so long, and that, I kind of just, if my own dad doesn't love me, then, who will? And I kind of just lost the feeling of love and showing happiness. And I was kind of doing a little bit better, but with a lot of things going on at home, it's just kind of gone back to what it used to be.
So then what's going on at home that's also triggering this lack of emotion?
I would say the comments that my stepdad makes about me, it's kind of just like putting me down a little bit, so it kind of making me feel like that again.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you're feeling disconnected and distant from Matt, not only just because of the long distance, but because of the abandonment feeling that you have, and that putting down from your stepdad at home. Is that correct? Yeah. So has this been difficult to talk about?
I mean, just a little, especially with my boyfriend, because I'm not really sure like how to bring it up in a good way, and like make sure that we're good after, and he's not in the wrong at all. Like,
No, you want to let him know that it's something within you and
Yeah.
nothing that he's doing wrong.
Mhm.
So when you are with him, how do you show your emotions? Like how do you show affection to each other?
Well, I mean, we FaceTime majority of the nights. We talk constantly during the day. Regular compliments. I mean, I can definitely compliment him more, or show more affection, which I'm kind of struggling with.
Of course.
But for the most part, it's just over FaceTime, which is the only thing we can do.
So when you guys are together, like how many times are you guys together?
I recently saw him a couple months ago.
Okay. And when it comes to affection and showing emotion towards him, how did that go?
I mean, it was a little bit better. I would say it was probably a little more reserved. Just because, home life is getting bad, and, it's just still trying to get over that. I think I just need to figure out ways how to build up that stuff and try and deal with my past.
Okay. So how long are you guys expecting to continue this long distance relationship then with him?
I would say by the time I go to college, which I have about 6 months till then, so.
Oh, you have 6 months. Okay. So then, are you going to the same area that he's going to be at?
Yes.
Okay. So are you wanting to so you're basically trying to help, like, learn ways to be more affectionate and be more emotional when it comes in before you get out there.
And especially will definitely help me with, my other relationships, not just couple-wise, friends, family. It'll also help with those.
So how about your emotions? How does your parents show emotion at home?
There hasn't really been a lot of positive emotion growing up. No physical touch. There's always like negative comments towards each other. Just not very good, positive at all. So I mean, I don't really have like a good example to go with.
I hear you. When you don't have that good example as far as showing emotions, when it comes to a relationship, it's really hard for you to learn to be affectionate, to show emotion if emotions haven't been shown around you. So it really does sound like you've had quite a few challenges in your life that has shaped how you view and how you experience emotions. So let's go ahead and explore these in a way that feels comfortable for you. Okay. So you mentioned your parents, that they, they never showed emotion or affection, in that your bio dad didn't show affection, and he also abandoned you. You said around age 4. Can you tell me more, go a little more into depth as far as how this how you viewed it, how like it really shaped the way you see relationships.
I mean, after convincing myself for probably until I was maybe 12, before my mom really explained to me what really happened, because, you don't want to tell a young little kid, because it's kind of a sensitive subject.
And is this about your bio dad? Okay.
But, at the age of 4, you don't really understand, you just know your dad's gone.
Right.
So, I mean, my mom told me that I asked her a question, why doesn't my dad love me? So it affected me pretty bad.
Do you recall what your mom's response was to that?
I think she said, like, he just wasn't ready to be a dad just yet.
Okay.
And, she never talked bad about him at all, She never pushed to have a relationship with him, it was all up to me.
That's good.
But, I chose that, since in my mind he abandoned me, why would I try to have a relationship with him? And, I saw that it hurt my mom, which, that's all I knew. And then, when my stepdad came along, which was about 4 too, I mean, at first it was kind of weird seeing another guy with my mom, because it's my mom, and I wasn't ready for that just yet.
Of course. It's a change.
Yeah.
It's a change.
A little weird with change. So it was just a little weird, and then, once that started to kind of turn downhill, I've only seen bad relationships, and, just like making sure everyone else is happy before me. It's kind of just made me hide my emotions and not talk about them. Yeah.
Okay. So, when it comes to your past experiences, how does your lack of emotion, how does this show up when you're with Matt or when you're talking with Matt? So, with the lack of seeing your parents, your stepdad and your mom, not showing these emotions or affection towards each other, how is that affecting your relationship with Matt?
I mean, I would say, like, not just confidence, because that's kind of more, like, different wise, but I mean, like, I don't open up as much, like, in being around him, like, physical touch isn't really a big thing. And, he's kind of opened up to me that, he would like me to make the first move.
When he told you he wants you to make the first move, how did that make you feel? Did that make you feel uncomfortable? Did it make you feel uneasy? How did it make you feel when he said that?
I wouldn't say made me feel easy. It was something kind of new, because, I'm just not really used to, like, me doing it. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with physical touch. It's just, I don't want it to be too much, because, I don't really know, like, a good balance, because, again, I haven't seen it.
Right.
So I don't want to push my boundaries at all, or, but not doing it enough, I've also learned, is also just as bad as doing it too much.
So does he know your boundaries?
He does.
So what type of boundaries have you set then?
I mean, not as many. I just, again, like, I do need to open up more.
Okay.
I do need to work on that. But, I mean, certain things to bring up. I told him, what kind of triggers me a little bit.
And what are those triggers?
Definitely about, like, certain words that have happened in my past. Bringing those up, like, it definitely makes me kind of taken back and then kind of revert back to all those memories, and I really don't want that.
And when you told Matt about your boundaries and when you told him about how you feel, what's his response?
He's very supportive. You know, he said that he's willing to, you know, help me adjust, and he's not going to push anything until I'm comfortable with it. I mean, he's very understanding with the whole situation, and he said he's completely willing to help me with anything.
You know, I do have to say, especially with you guys being young, that is very rare to be able to find a young man that is respecting your boundaries and that's going to support you. So that's amazing that you are with somebody who is a positive force in your life. So do you feel like you're ready to feel more and express more when it comes to Matt, and not just Matt, but in all your relationships?
I do feel that I'm ready to. I think just, you know, trying to get tools to help me get over my past would definitely make me even more ready and to really open up to every single person that I am close with.
Okay. So you had mentioned a little bit ago that your mom told you when you were around 12 that she explained why your bio dad left the picture. Have you spoken to your bio dad? Has he been able to talk about his side about what happened?
I mean, for a while he was trying to contact or, you know, like get in touch with me, but, you know, I was pushing back pretty hard. But after a little bit, you know, when she explained it, I decided that, you know, he wasn't at fault and all of my problems don't come from him. So I decided to give him a try, and then, you know, I went to go visit him and my siblings. And, you know, we stayed up for a good while one night just talking about, you know, his past and my past pretty much, and then, you know, how it all affected each other. So, I mean, we definitely got closure when it came to that. So,
Okay, that was going to be my next question: is if do you feel like you got some closure when it came to the abandonment? But it still rings in there for you, doesn't it? Okay. Have you talked to your mom or your stepdad as far as their lack of affection, emotion around you, and how that has affected you?
I would say I've kind of recently been making like little comments about it because, you know, my stepdad, he's kind of a little iffy to open up with, like on a personal level. So I've made like little funny, joking comments about it, but like not really joking. I know my mom knows because my mom's been pretty open about, you know, she tries, but, you know, he doesn't reciprocate that at all. But I've been pretty open about, you know, kind of because of you guys, like, you know, I don't really know what's good.
Sorry, my therapy dog is wanting to say hi. This is Darla, my therapy dog. So that's good that you have. It sounds like you have great communication with your mom, and you're already starting to take those little steps to help you become more aware of your emotions. And it sounds like because you're about to go to college and everything that you're being a little more aware.
Yeah.
So what kind of affection and emotional connection do you desire from Matt? And how do you think that might look um, when it comes to your past, like in comparison?
I would say like when it comes to disagreements, because every couple has disagreements. Like healthfully talking about it. No yelling. There's no need for that. Having an actual conversation about it. Just being able to be open and honest about how you're feeling. Not holding it back or um, just being open, honest, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So sometimes when we experience emotional neglect, because honestly, it sounds like that's what unfortunately you grew up with. Um, your parents did not show emotion. Otherwise, it also sounds like the emotion that was shown was negative emotion, because there's such thing as negative emotion and positive emotions. Um, and also abandonment early in your life. When we experience these, especially at a very young age, like you have, we may learn to protect ourselves by not showing or feeling emotions as a way of avoiding pain. Um, does this sound anything like how you're feeling?
Yeah, pretty much like to the T.
Okay. So, do you feel that might, um, so that is part of what you're feeling? So, at this point, let's go ahead and let's set some goals. Okay. So, first thing, let's go ahead and try to be more emotional aware. Okay, so by this, what I mean is, this is where you're gonna have to start, taking a step back. As far as if you start feeling, you know, sad, mad, happy, feel love, any type of emotion that you're feeling, try to be more aware of it. And not only just within yourself, but even others around you. Because even being more aware of their other people's emotions around you could help you be more aware of yours. Because, of course, especially with those we're close with, our emotions, we bounce off of each other.
Yeah.
So, being more aware of those emotions. Because growing up, with because when your parent, did your mother seem very closed off with her emotions when you came to your stepdad?
I wouldn't say very closed off. I mean, she's been pretty open with most of everything.
Okay, well that's good. But by recognizing your emotions and other people's emotions around you, this will help recognize and this will help you recognize emotions and everything as they arise. Okay. Next, we'll work on building a sense of self compassion and acceptance around your emotions, because you're trying to find those emotions. You're trying to find that, and it's scary. It's not easy either. And by building a sense of self compassion and acceptance, it's basically you allowing it and accepting those emotions that are coming. Like, when it comes to that, if, you're feeling like you want, that touch, accept it. But accept it at a comfortable rate for you. You don't have to force it. just take it very gradually, in a way that you're comfortable with, but also make sure you create a space for you to explore these emotions, okay? And then we'll explore how you can start expressing emotions in a way that feels safe and authentic. Do you know what I mean by authentic?
Not entirely.
So, you know how, like, people can force emotions. Like, let's say somebody's giving you a surprise party, and you know about it. Like, you have to go in and, like, oh, yay. That's forcing that emotion. And by forcing that emotion, it's not authentic. So with your emotions, we want to make sure that your emotions are your true emotions and not something that you're trying to force. Because if you're trying to force these emotions, then you're not allowing yourself to be open to real emotions. Okay, and this is even with Matt. So let's go ahead. All right, and I'm going to give you some homework. Okay. Let's start an emotion journal. Okay. So with an emotion journal, what I would like for you to do is track your feelings, your personal reflection, and your interactions with Matt, and just with anybody. If you're with your best friend, and your best friend, you feel happy, you feel joy. Write that emotion down, because that's the same type of emotion that you can use with Matt. Other emotions you can use, it's like physical touch. When you're with Matt, and you have that physical touch with him, write that emotion down, and be like, today Matt put his arm around me, and write. I see your expression on your face. Does that make you uncomfortable?
No.
So if he puts his arm around you, write down, today Matt put his arm around me. And then write how it made you feel and how you reacted to it. Because, the way we react to somebody else's form of affection also can affect our emotions as well. And then, of course, writing down any feelings that arises as well. And since you do keep great communication with Matt, maybe it'd also be a good idea he writes an emotional journal too. That way he can get his perspective on your emotions towards him. And this way you two can work on it together and compare. And you can get a better insight of how he feels when it comes to your emotions. And just see how your guys' notes match, or if there's something it's a great communication and conversation starter for you guys. And next thing that I would like for you to do is practice small gestures of affection. Okay, like holding hands, compliments, showing appreciation. And maybe even telling him how you feel. And of course, again, this goes back to, just making sure you're in a comfortable space to do this. If you're not comfortable with PDA, don't force it, little steps, okay? And then later, what we can do also is we can write, for a long-term goal, write a letter to your biological dad. So now you said that, you had a little bit of closure because, you found out a lot about his past and why he abandoned you. But does he know how that abandonment affected you?
I mean, I kind of talked about it, but not in too much detail.
Okay. So this letter, write a letter to your bio dad and explaining, that, because of the abandonment, I know we discussed, why, but, it still affects me to this day. And by you talking about your emotions and feelings of the abandonment, that will also open up that door to releasing those emotions that you're holding back. And this is also can be something that you can do for your mom and your stepdad, because they also have a part in this emotional setback that you're having and writing these letters. So, but first, let's work on the emotional journal, and let's practice these small gestures as our first small steps. Okay. And then we will work our way up to the letters once we are able to get learn more about your emotions. Okay. Was there anything else that you wanted to add?
I think that's about good.
I think it's about good. Okay. So, how are you feeling about opening up and talking about this today?
I think it definitely is gonna help me. It's good to talk to someone about it. Definitely helps, get used to opening up to someone. But I feel pretty good about it.
Awesome. Just remember, everything is all in small steps. Don't go in full force, because if you go in full force, you're just going to overwhelm yourself, and then you're going to close yourself off, and you may not be able to open that back up. So we're going to do no, we don't. So we're going to do this little by little, and we'll work on this together. Okay. I'm sorry that you have gone through a difficult time growing up. It's not fair to you, and I hope that together we can work on these goals and make sure that you feel like you're more emotionally comfortable when it comes to Matt and all of your relationships. So let's go ahead and we'll meet again next week. And we'll go through your journal together, and we'll start seeing where we are with our emotions. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Well, it was very nice to meet you, Miss Lexi, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
I look forward to seeing you too.
Alrighty.